Yeah, I'm a bit late to the party. But hey, I finished my finals, and now Christmas is over, so hopefully I will upload more in the coming month. Anyways, welcome to this Help Wanted 2 video. This video is basically part 1 of 3 dissecting Help Wanted 2. Originally, this video was just gonna be one big video, but I decided to split it into 3 parts as the video would have been too big. And I wanted to get these videos out more faster so you guys can enjoy. So in part 1, I will discuss the identity and motivation of our player and the Candy Cadet story. In part 2, I'll talk about Princess Quest. And in part 3, I'll talk about the endings and some extra theories as well. So now let's cover the basic plot for the game. We are someone that is housed in the FNaF 6 location, and our task is to complete all the VR training simulation that we have on our computer in front of us. But after beating some minigames, the files get corrupted by Glitchtrap. Sometimes after beating some minigames, we get a prize. We get action figures of the Fazbear band called the Faz Force. When we get the Faz Wrench, we enter a room that houses an inhibitor and a new Princess Quest 4. When we deactivate the inhibitor, it is revealed that we were wearing the Vanny mask from Ruin all along, and we see the pizza place for what it truly is, ruined. The previously locked minigames are now unlocked. After beating all of the hard mode minigames, we collect the final Phasotron and combine the 6 into one. Then the mask is removed from us and we see Glitchtrap come out of the charging station. Then 5 Nightmare staff bots attack and kill us. Then we cut to a POV of Maskbot and give Cassie the Vanny mask, beginning her journey into freeing the Mimic. But that's just one of the endings. The other ending requires us to collect 6 plushies that have the masks of the original 6 kids. How to get these 6 plushies is hinted to us by Mystic Hippo, which mentions how something has changed and someone has sent us a message. The messages being graffiti on the walls of the pizza place. After we collect the 6 memories, we get a glitched coin from Mystic Hippo, which lets us have access to Princess Quest 4. We play it, get teleported inside the arcade, and we make our way to the Red Old Man. We trade the Vanny mask for the Glitchtrap plush, enter the elevator, and end up in a claw machine with Vanny looming over us. We give Moon the Glitchtrap plush, and he gives it to Vanny. We see Vanny holding Glitchtrap before finally killing what remains. Then she backs up into the darkness. So, let's now discuss the identity of our player. It is pretty well accepted that we play as Cassie's father, who was first introduced in Ruin. And I tend to agree. Evidence for us playing as Cassie's father is that we are a technician at the Pizzaplex, which we already knew from Ruin. Mystic Hippo tells us the Faz Wrench is familiar to us, probably because we are a technician. What's also interesting is that the Faz Wrench is the same Faz Wrench Cassie gets in Ruin, as the numbers in the back are the same. And it's also worth noting that the Faz Wrench in Help Wanted 2 might not be the real Faz Wrench, but a digital one, since we can only see it with the mask on. The real Faz Wrench is probably upstairs where Cassie eventually finds it. Furthermore, we know Cassie's dad likes to collect all Fazbear memorabilia, which is exactly what we do in Help Wanted 2. We collect vintage action figures called the Faz Force. And lastly, Cassie's dad loves Bonnie, and in Princess Quest 4 we get a Bonnie mask which the player calls Familiar. The Bonnie mask also ties in with the Bonnie Bully from FNaF 4. This connection is also solidified as the code behind the Faz Wrench is the same code we use in FNaF 3 to get the Fredbear minigame. So in conclusion, we are most likely playing as Cassie's dad, who is most likely the Bonnie Bully as well. So why is Cassie's dad at the Pizzaplex in the first place? Judging by the Vanny mask poster that appears in the AR and real world, I'm guessing he's testing out the Vanny mask and the VR training simulator for Fazbear Entertainment. I mean, in the first trailer for the game, Hand Unit says we are the only applicant.
Also, there were no other applicants. So strap yourself in and get motivated to an appropriate degree.
And the PlayStation blog post mentions how we are the final employee at the Pizzaplex, meaning no one else is here except for us. So like Help Wanted 1, I think we are beta testing the training simulator before giving it to actual employees. Alright, so we are here to test out the mask and the simulator. Is that it? Well, judging by Candy Cadet's recent story, I think there's more of a personal reason Cassie's dad comes back.
Now let me tell you a story about a young woman who, when she was little, was led into a dark forest by a witch, and almost eaten. She had fallen for the friendly voice without discernment, and was led astray. She had escaped before being thrown into the oven, but would have a scar for the rest of her life. When she had grown, she sought revenge on the witch, and entered the forest again willingly, this time with the confidence of age and experience. She was greeted at the mouth of the forest by a young boy who offered to help guide her through the darkness. She welcomed the help, and followed the young boy over the river, through the jagged trees, and toward a small house. "Come," the boy said. "Rest here before killing the witch." The young woman was tired, and would kill the witch in the morning. She followed the boy into the house. The oven door closed. The witch would finally have her meal.
I'm pretty sure the woman in the story is supposed to represent Cassie's dad. Him returning to the Pizzaplex to confront the witch, Glitchtrap, but eventually tricked by a boy, and the woman, Cassie's dad, dies. So Cassie's dad encountered Glitchtrap before and was left scarred. Fazbear Entertainment then possibly opens up a job for someone to test out the Vanny mask and the training simulator in the ruined Pizzaplex. No one except Cassie's dad applies for the job because he wants revenge. That makes sense, right? But there is one thing left missing. The boy in the story, who guides the woman and eventually betrays her. So who in the game guides us and eventually betrays us? People have suggested that it's Gregory or Vanessa or even Vanny, but none of them really work. None of them really guide us and betray us. So I looked closely at who it could be, and then noticed this little shit. The boy could be Helpy. Yes, you heard me, Helpy. Why, you may ask? Well, in the game files, the Helpy in the projector is labeled as Helpy, which makes sense, since this is the same Vanny network that has Helpy in it. But why is the boy Helpy? Well, Helpy is the one to tell us to play the minigames, and he guides us like he did with Cassie in Ruin. Helpy is helping Glitchtrap trick Cassie's dad, like how he tricked Cassie when he helped the mimic. Man, Helpy just has a vendetta against Cassie's family, doesn't he? Alright, that leaves one thing to talk about with Candy Cadet's story. When did Cassie's dad encounter the witch for him to be scarred and wanting revenge? The only person that we know of that encountered and was almost corrupted by Glitchtrap before was Jeremy from Help Wanted 1. But is Jeremy even alive? The most popular consensus is that he died after cutting his face off with a guillotine paper slicer. Well, technically we don't get confirmation that he did die, it was just that he had an accident. A lot of people think the Halloween mask Tape Girl mentions is supposed to be Jeremy's face, but the problem is that Tape Girl is in the same room with the mask, so I would think she would recognize a cut off human face if she saw one. The Halloween mask could be just that, a mask. The Halloween mask also ties in with Curse of Dreadbear, since after being corrupted by Glitchtrap, Vanny makes her mask. So Jeremy could have made a mask to reflect his journey into madness. And the ink that Tape Girl mentions could actually be just that, ink, probably to help Jeremy create his mask. But one thing is for certain, Jeremy did use the guillotine paper slicer on himself. If he survived, he would definitely have a scar like the woman. And really, there's really nothing that suggests that Jeremy did die. It's more that he had an accident. Well, what about the lawsuit that Tape Girl mentions? Isn't the lawsuit because of Jeremy? Well, not really. The lawsuit actually happened before Jeremy was fired. Well, how do we know? In the tape that talks about the lawsuit, Tape Girl describes Dale as the manager. She is introducing us to Dale. Then in the next tape that talks about Jeremy and Dale arguing, she just calls Dale Dale. She doesn't mention him as the manager, meaning she already made the introduction. So the lawsuit has nothing to do with Jeremy. Alright, so is Jeremy Cassie's dad? In my opinion, it's highly likely. He is the only other person that we know of that was corrupted and scarred by Glitchtrap. But I'm not ruling out the possibility that Cassie's dad could be a different character that encountered Glitchtrap for the first time at the Pizzaplex. And that's part 1. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, all that jazz, and comment down below what you think of this video and this theory in general. So part 2 is gonna be all about Princess Quest, mainly Princess Quest 4 and what it means. I'll see you on the flip side.